So this was the bathroom that collapsed. I mean, you can't see that rock anymore. You can obviously tell there's a lot of water under there. All right, so you guys have seen this house before. We haven't been out here for a little while because of all the issues we had with the foundation. But things are finally done with that. We're moving into the bathroom. We're moving into some other stuff. So I'll show you guys the update on this place. You can see we're gonna re-side the whole house and the garage. You can see we've started that here. They've got some nice trim in here. They're gonna wrap all the windows, all the doors. They're gonna trim all this out. They're gonna do new siding the whole way around. So you look at the house, you can see it's an old, beaten up aluminum siding. And we didn't want that anymore. So we're doing all new, all white, because it's a cheaper price point, and colored siding just costs more than white siding. So we're gonna put white siding on it like you see. Then we went with the black front door. We're gonna do black shutters, a bunch of other stuff. That awning will come down when they side the thing. So far, the outside's looking good. You come back here and you see they're halfway through the back side of it. So they're gonna continue doing that. This concrete here is gonna get all ripped up because when it rains, all this concrete right behind me is lower than everything else. So we need to pull that up, pour new concrete. That way the water runs away from the house rather than pooling right here. You can see along the garage, the concrete kind of does this away from the garage, which is good because all the water runs off and into the yard. Obviously, we're gonna have to seed the yard because they ripped it up with the trucks, but we're gonna rip up this concrete now that it's warm enough to finally do concrete. We'll put a nice new pad here so everything's level and all the water rushes away from the house. You can also see this used to be fenced out here. So we've got the fence still just rolled up over there because everybody pulled their trucks in and whatnot. So we'll unroll that fence, put the gate back on. We have a nice fenced in yard. We'll probably put a privacy fence just along this portion because these dogs are very loud. So you come inside, you notice a lot hasn't changed because we've been waiting on the foundation work that we had to do. But a couple big changes, big updates, important updates for the rehab that you will notice. All the electrical is in. New panel, everything's rewired. All the bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom, everything's been rewired. So typically when you're doing older houses like this, you have to worry about some of this stuff. So in a small house like this, it's not a huge expense. We decided, fuck it, let's just redo it all. It's not that expensive and it's definitely worth it. So you'll see they've done at least the rough of that. The other thing we've done, if you look down here, there's a ton of water. Don't know why, not thrilled about that. Rob, do you know why there's a ton of water down here?
No, I'm trying to figure it out, but there's, if you look over here, there's a lot of moving things inside of it, which bacteria or whatnot, don't know.
We don't know where it came from?
No, and it's flowing over here, so that leads me to believe it's coming from somewhere to create.
Right.
Whether it trickled down from outside or what.
It could be because we've had a lot of flooding lately.
Yeah. But it's at least 6 inches, 8 inches deep.
I could see it from the outside.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, there's a ton of water down there. Here, watch the camera. I mean, you can't see that rock anymore. So, there's a good bit of water under the house. We don't love that. We'll have to figure that out. I'm guessing there's been a lot of rain, a lot of flood, a lot of everything else. Do you know where this water came from at all, or no? No? You don't have any idea where that came from?
No.
It wasn't
But
here
I
last
do need
time.
some water.
Well, you got it. Okay. Because, I mean, it looks stagnant, but
It's moving heavy over here.
Rob thinks it's moving on the other corner of the house, so I don't know, but it's not a small amount of water, so if it's leaking or something's going on, we need to get it shut off with the city or something.
I mean, it's coming that
Part of
way.
me thinks it's because it's probably just lower over there.
Could be, but then it would drain out eventually.
Well, I'm thinking that's what it's doing. It's just kind of flowing that way, but
Right here, same exactly problem. I had same problem. What they did, I had to call city. They have to come out. They couldn't fix this. This is garbage anymore.
Right.
So what they did, they just fish another pipe.
and just run a new
Run
one.
it to down here, and then it took like 3-4 weeks to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, if we got to run a new one, it is what it is. I just want to get it fixed. But in the meantime, you can see plumbing here. That's where the new meter would go. You can see new bathtub. The bathroom is getting done. I'm guessing this is toilet. This is vanity. You can see here we've been using this tile quite a bit lately. I was gonna say that's a different floor, but we've been using something in this same color palette for a while now. You can see all the new wood in here too. So we reframed a bunch of it. One thing we did is the yellow, the gas lines. So you'll have your stove, you'll have obviously your water heater, which you can tell this thing's brand new. There's a stove, ran a new line to the furnace here. Now the furnace is eventually going up into the ceiling. I don't know when they're moving that. I figured they would have done it when they did the lines, but we'll see. In a small house like that, that's valuable floor space. So we want that floor space. So at some point they'll pick it up and put it in the attic. But this is gonna be the kitchen. You can tell this is where the sink's gonna go. Hot, cold, drain. This will end up being kind of like a bar top, like we've done in some of our other houses. You'll have the sink here, bar top over this way for 2 bar stools. It'll still leave enough room for your couch. Your TV will go on that wall. It's a pretty small house, so any functionality, don't step in the hole.
Yeah.
Any functionality that you can get out of it, like a little bar top or something, is good to have. Now, we come into this bedroom, same thing. Eventually, I believe that chimney is getting removed to add a closet right there. So that's probably part of the reason they haven't moved the furnace yet, is they'll move the furnace and do this chimney at the same time so they can get the ventilation and everything else set up. You can see we did the new windows, but if you remember from the last video, this whole corner was all ripped out. So my budget on this house is completely fucked. As you can tell, part of the house is just gone because the whole thing collapsed. So we put the new footings, framed the new walls, obviously the roof, everything else that had to be done. You've got your back door now. We've changed the layout, and we'll give you guys maybe a rendering of the layout if we can put one together. But that's where we're at so far with this one. There's more stuff that we're gonna do outside. One thing we did do that you might be able to notice if you look at the last video is these ceilings weren't flush. Because in my head, I'm thinking if I can open that up and go flush ceiling all the way across, that's gonna look massive in here.
I mean, it just got to be cut.
Now the ceilings throughout this main space should all be flush when we're done, which should also be flush with the bedrooms. So we had a bunch of different elevations or levels or whatever you want to call it, heights, but we flushed everything out except for that back part because it was just built in a way that it's not going to be flushed out. But the rest of it will have nice open ceiling, nice open, what do you call it, line of sight. You'll have good recessed lighting in here, so we'll put a couple more lights in. And at the end of the day, it'll be a pretty nice little 2-bedroom house. But there's a couple more things we're gonna do outside, so let's look at that.
What's for the dogs, though?
Oh, I've seen them, those f***ing monsters.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that generator Frank's always looking for.
We actually need it today.
Yeah?
Here, yeah.
He's always saying, I don't know where it is, I don't know where it is. So as we're here filming, the guys are actively working, which is one thing to keep in mind. While we film these projects, people are working on them around us. You probably hear them talking, you hear tools, you hear materials moving. That's some of this. This is, I believe,
The
green board. So the green board will go in the wet area, like the bathroom, kitchen, whatever, you're good. And then we've got insulation there. We obviously need to insulate the whole thing too. Now, like I said, before we close it up, we want to figure out what this leak is and address that. But projects continue moving regardless. So it's another timeline piece. There's, 40 different people who may end up touching this houses for different trades and siding and plumbing and roofing and drywall and blah, blah, blah. So just because we have a plumbing problem does not mean the HVAC guy wants to stop. Does not mean the siding guy wants to stop. So the projects keep moving around these problems, which is, you budget contingency for this because something's always going to come up and you just got to deal with it as it comes up and keep moving. So like and subscribe. Well, and here is a load of plumbing fittings.
Seeing that in all of our houses.
It's just like here. I wonder if he just moves all the and just...
No, I think we buy this and
Oh, do we?
it's showing up on our thing because Lou's not happy about the purchasing.
Oh,
lately.
well, Lou's never happy about the purchasing. Are you filming this?
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
that in. I want her to see that.
I want this to be on camera too. I did not buy the buckets today.
Right? Someone else did?
Yes.
Lou has a fit about trash bags and buckets because we buy it.
Paintbrushes.
And paintbrushes because we buy too many of them.
Trowels.
And everything Rob buys.
I'm the only one that really buys stuff. So
Yeah, Rob does a lot of the running, so he's the one buying everything, so he catches the heat for it.
I just take it.
Right? He just gets whipped and moves on.
Yeah.
verbally.
But you can see clearly the plumber knows something's going on here because he's got a bunch of plumbing stuff here. So I don't know, maybe they're already addressing this and I just don't know about it, but we'll figure it out one way or another. So like I said, we'll end up siding the whole outside of this house. We'll put the new lights on, clean up the gutters, all that kind of stuff. Now, when we were originally looking at this house in the winter, the seller had told us that it needed a roof, and that was on the disclosures, and it was so snowy and everything else that you couldn't see. But then the snow melted, and it's got a brand new roof on it, or at least pretty new. So we did save some money there, which has allowed us to deal with some of these other upgrades and extra things like the rewiring and replumbing and all that. So being that we saved, you know, probably $5,000–6,000 on that roof, it's allowed us to allocate some budget to some different things. You can tell, or maybe you can't tell, but we did a new door. We did a new garage door with a new lifter and everything else. So you can see they had to reframe a little bit of that where the garage door is just to be able to support the new garage door. And then we've got power here for a light, so that needs to be converted to a receptacle that we can plug the opener into. But the garage is a work in progress too. They're gonna have to patch this side over here where you can obviously see the daylight. That's gonna need new boards. You can see actually a good example right here where, since we're siding over all this, the boards don't have to look that pretty. So all you do is cut them to fit and just slot them in. So they'll do the same thing there where they just cut it and fit it, and then they'll side over it. So it'll look really nice by the time it's done. We've got the 2 new windows, we've got the new lifter, the new garage door. So work in progress, but because of the issues we had with the foundation and everything else in the middle of winter, slow working project. So, you know, sometimes it's the unfortunate reality of this construction stuff. Like I said, if we were just doing new kitchen, new bathroom, paint, and get out, it'd be a pretty easy thing to timeline. But you can't assume that your main plumbing is going to go bad while you're in the middle of it. Like I said, we budget for it in worst case scenario, but stuff like that just happens in a lot of these bigger projects. So you can't... This looks like a new black door, but I don't know where it's going. Got distracted by that. But you also can't budget for the fact that the siding guy, he was supposed to be here today. We had an emergency on another project. He had to get pulled over there today, and he had to work on that. So, you know, you can budget and timeline this stuff as best as you can, but at the end of the day, it's a 90–95% educated guess, and there's going to be 5 to 10% of things that just go wrong. That's part of reconstruction, especially, like I said, in this heavy reconstruction. It's just part of the game. Now, you got to remember, we only paid $25,000 for this house. The rehab on this house, I believe, is about $40,000. So we're going to be all in about $70,000 with title work and everything else. At the end of the day, it's worth about $125. So, you know, if we're all in at $75, that's a $40–50,000 profit after real estate commissions, title fees, all those other things. Now, I own coffee's f***ing me up. Now, I own a title company, so not going to be a ton of cost for me on that. I am a broker, and I have a team of real estate agents. So listing this thing, it's not going to cost me anything. Holding costs, I paid cash for everything, so it's not going to cost me anything. So, you know, out of that $50,000 profit, we probably net about $45,000 on this house. So when you can take $75,000, turn it into $125, that's a pretty good day. If you want to invest in some projects like this with us, feel free, scan the QR code here, click the link down below. We'd love to help you get into some projects too. Now, this is the other side of what we were looking at inside the house. You can obviously tell there's a lot of water under there. So I called Frank, I told him what was going on. He called the plumber. Plumber's gonna come over here and check it out. You know, hopefully the whole line's not bad. If the whole line's bad, that could be anywhere from a $5,000 to $10,000 cost to replace it. But we saved a bunch of money on the roofing, so, you know, surprises happen. You can't, with the level of house we buy where they're so destroyed, you can't always know what's going to happen. But, you know, that's just a part of heavy reconstruction where we're not coming in and just doing kitchens and cosmetics and things. So, you know, we budget some contingency money for stuff like this. So it's not a huge hit to the budget, but it's definitely going to hit the timeline, because if I got to get the city involved and shut off at the street and run new line, new meter, all that kind of stuff, it could be 3 weeks before the city comes out here and does that. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully when the plumber gets here, he can diagnose it and he can pump it out and fix it on his end. And hopefully we haven't racked up, you know, a $10,000 water bill while it's running, but we will find out. Now, here's the thing. I haven't put the water in my name yet because I don't need water yet. So if it did rack up a bill, somebody's getting it, but it's not going to be me. And you can see this was the bathroom that collapsed.
Oh, wow.
And you can see
yeah,
That's where it cracked and broke. So all this had to be obviously ripped out, but you don't want your plumbing to look like that.
You don't say.
Right. So you can see how we've got this privacy fence on the back here. We'll probably do the same thing just to the corner of the garage, just to make it look nice back here. You can see this is all new. They reframed all this. So just got a splinter.
Oh, I hate OB board for that reason.
So you can see we'll put a light over the door. They're gonna re-side this. Obviously, you're not just gonna side to the wood, but they'll come out here when they finish siding the garage. They'll side this house. As you can tell, everyone here has dogs.
Everybody.
But they'll re-side this and it'll look nice. We'll put the new privacy fence in, it'll look nice. On their backyard, they've got a nice seating area with a patio and everything. We'll do that out here. We'll put a little walkway to this door. A lot of work still to be done here, but figured we'd come give you guys an update because you haven't seen this house in a while. And a lot of the heavy lifting is being done right now. Mechanicals, plumbing, electrical, that kind of stuff. So there's your update on this house. If you want to see the first video in this series, you can click right here.